and she's at her St. Patty's Day parade. She's a marshal of the St. Patty's Day parade, so that's why she's not here this morning. But it's raining in St. Augustine, so she's getting a rainy day parade, which has its own special vibe. All right, so come to a seated position, Sukhasana, if you like sitting in Sukhasana. And then just give yourself a second to kind of find that nice, comfortable position. Wiggle into your butt, wriggle out your shoulders. Let your hands find a nice, comfortable place. And then right away, if it feels comfortable to do so, close your eyes down. And then as you close your eyes down, maybe just notice that little bit of filtered light behind your eyelids. And as you take a moment just to kind of focus in on that filtered light behind your eyelids, let your breath slow down. And then kind of notice as you're focusing on that filtered light behind your eyelids, are you tensing up your eyelids a little bit to pay attention? Can you allow your eyelids to be soft and heavy? Cheekbones and temples soft. And then if you can, keeping your eyelids closed down, we're going to move our eyeballs. So we're going to keep our eyelids closed down. We're going to keep our head in a nice level position. And then can you just look your eyeballs up towards the ceiling, but keep your eyelids closed down if that's available. And then release your eyeballs back to that neutral position. Reset anything that you need to. Keep your eyelids closed down if you can. And then turn your eyes to the left, just as far as they can go, but keep your eyelids closed down. And then bring it back to center. Soften, take a moment. And then when you feel ready, turn your eyeballs to the right. Eyelids stay closed down if you can. Bring it back to center, soften for a moment. And then just keeping our focus here for one more moment. Keep your eyelids closed down, look your eyes down, hold it for a moment. And then bring your eyes back to that soft neutral position, and then let one hand touch down to the ground if you can find it. Just letting your fingers find the ground, feeling that nice solid earth beneath you. And then once that hand is touching down to the ground, bring your other hand to your heart. Take a nice full inhale here. Fill your lungs up. See if you can fill up to the bottom of the lungs, all the way up to the tops of the lungs. And then as you exhale, can you exhale from the tops of your lungs all the way down to the bottom? Inhale, fill up the bottom of the lungs all the way up to the top. Exhale from the top all the way to the bottom. Take one more breath here. And then before we move away from this place, just take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And then with that intention set, that hand that's on the ground, bring it to stack right on the hand that's on the heart. And then put a gentle pressure on. As you inhale, lift your chin up to the sky. As you exhale, tuck your chin down to your chest. And then see if you can start to tune in and notice the movement of skin here. Inhale, lift your chin up to the sky. Exhale and tuck your chin down to your chest. Inhale as you lift your chin up. Exhale to tuck your chin down. And then keeping your hands on your heart, but bring your head to a neutral position. Pause for a moment, take a nice deep breath. Keeping your eyes closed if you can, and you're just going to start a little tick-tock of the head side to side. So you're just going to drop ear to shoulder, finding a nice gentle fluid movement. But as you move here, especially if you've got that skin to skin contact, you might feel a bit of movement of the skin and connective tissue and muscles underneath your hands. Take one more drop of the ear side to side. And then bring your head to that neutral position, keeping the eyes closed down if you can. Take a breath. And then we're going to start to turn the head side to side like you're looking over your shoulder. But here's a nice fluid movement, taking your turn side to side in a way that feels right to you. And then tuning in and noticing. Can you notice that movement of skin and connective tissue and muscles underneath your hands? Take one more turn of your head side to side. And then as your head comes back to center, release your hands to your knees. Pause, take a breath. And then if it feels good to do so, open your eyes, move right into a seated cat-cow. As you inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale, round your back, round your shoulders, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Take one more breath here. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you round. And then find a neutral spine, and we're going to bring our hands across the chest. So just a nice little crisscross of the arms, just so we can kind of feel the shoulders. And then we're going to start to find a little gentle movement. So try to keep the shoulders in a level position and see if you can find most of that movement coming from the hip points up or from the belly button up. So we want to start to feel the ribs rotating from side to side. So it might not be a big movement, but see if you can mostly find that movement coming from the belly button up, ribs rotating just a little bit. And then as you find that movement here, if it feels good to do so, you might close your eyes down so you can kind of tune in and notice the movement of skin in your side body. Take one more rotation each side. And then eyes open if you're closed down. Bring your hands to your ribs. And we want to, it's not really a lift, but we want to imagine that we're just lifting the ribs up slightly and then drawing the ribs in towards each other. And then see if you can relax that just a little bit. And then think about lifting the ribs up, drawing the ribs in. So pulling the ribs in towards each other. So you might feel that little fire up right at that solar plexus. And then release. And then we're going to just do that one more time. So imagine you're lifting your ribs up, drawing the ribs in towards each other. And now keeping that position, we're going to glide the ribs from side to side. So keeping your hands on your ribs if that helps you find it. So it's not a big circular movement. We're just gliding the ribs side to side. Make sure that feels like a good, safe, comfortable movement, because then we're going to add on. So you might be happy staying here. You might be finding plenty of good work. If you can, keep that rib glide going. Bring your hands back up to your shoulders, that little crisscross of the arms. Keep gliding the ribs. And then the next time your ribs glide over to the right, stay there. And then see if you can just rotate the elbows just a little bit. Bring it back in, glide the ribs over to the other side, stay there, rotate just a little bit, bring it back, slide over to the other side, rotate a little bit, and then can you lean back? So almost as if you're trying to hug your shoulder blade towards your hip. See if that little squeeze in the side body, and then bring it back, glide over to the other side, rotate slightly, draw the shoulder back or squeeze the shoulder blade towards the hip, and then bring it back in, glide over to the other side, rotate slightly, hug in the shoulder blade to the hip, release, glide over to the other side, rotate slightly, hug that shoulder blade to the hip, bring it back, come back to center, release your hands, take 3 more cat-cows here. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale and round your back. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to take it into an easy seated forward fold. So think hip hinge or hinging from the waist. Lean your heart forward, walk yourself out nice and long to a depth that feels good to you. And then pause for a moment to notice. Notice your knees, notice your hips, notice your low back. Notice the skin of your hands touching the texture of the floor. So it might be a rug, it might be your yoga mat, whatever the case may be. Take a moment to just notice. And then we're going to get little piano fingers or nice tented hands. So fingertips are going to find the ground, so the palms are lifted off the ground. And then think cat-cow here. So we're going to inhale, lift the heart forward, lift your gaze. And then as you exhale, just pull the abdominal muscles in, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Keep that long position with the spine. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your gaze. Exhale, pull the abdominal muscles in around your back. One more just like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Find that neutral position with the spine and then pull the abdominal muscles in and back, pull the ribs back, drag your fingers. We're going to slide the hands behind the back. Nice tall hands here. Lift your chest, lift your chin, a nice gentle back bend. And then we're going to release to that nice little crisscross of the arms. So just holding onto the shoulders. Take a rotation to the right. Go as far as you can go with strength. I went to the left. And then when you're ready, release it over to the other side. Go just as far as you can go using the strength in your side body. Nice. And then bring it back to center. Release your arms and just give your arms a nice good shake. Both arms are going to shake. Just going to get that nice vigorous shake going all the way down to the fingers. And then if you like to, just for a moment here, close your eyes down. Notice that vibration. Notice that movement in your skin, the movement in your muscles, and then see if you can just hear or feel that movement or vibration in your breath. Awesome. Take one more good shake of the arms and then let them come down. We're going to find our way into a tabletop position. So flip yourself around onto all fours, knees under the hips, wrist under the shoulders, and then still feeling that bit of vibration in the arms, we're going to walk it right out into our puppy pose. So hands are going to reach towards the top end of your mat. Let your chest and your forehead sink down. Take a moment to find that nice groove or that space in the shoulder blades so everything feels happy. And then take 3 nice deep breaths here. When you're ready, on your next inhale, walk it back into your tabletop position. We're going to slide the right leg back, toes curled under. Take 3 to 5 good rocks forward and back. Just find a nice pace or rhythm that feels good to you. Notice the back of your leg, your heel, and the bottom of your foot. Awesome. And then when you're ready, slide that foot in and we're going to switch right to the other side. Left leg slides back, toes curled under, rock yourself forward and back. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slide that foot in. We're going to curl both sets of toes under, draw your butt back to your heels, and then think about just getting nice and heavy. So think about letting your butt get heavy towards your heels. Notice your toes, notice the bottoms of the feet, notice the skin of your feet. And then if you can, tune into the tops of your feet where there's that little crease at the front of your ankle and that little curled up position of the toes. Can you notice the skin at the tops of your feet? Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then when you're ready, lift back up to your tabletop position, keep your toes curled under, and then now we're going to add just a little strengthening element. So pull your knees up away from the floor, pull your abdominal muscles up towards the spine. So nice and steady, nice and strong in your center, nice broad shoulders, gazing down between your thumbs. Take one more moment here. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bring your knees down, bring your big toes together, knees together. We're going to take it back to a child's pose and we're going to swim the hands back, touch the heels. And then we're going to bring it forward. Hands are going to come forward, lift up, curl the toes under, pick up the knees and hover. Release the knees down, knees together, toes together, slide back to your child's pose. Let your hands touch the soles of the feet. And then when you're ready, bring it forward. Find that tabletop position, curl the toes under, lift the knees and hover. Awesome. Bring the knees down, knees together, toes together. Release your toes, pull your hands back to your feet. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bring it forward into your tabletop position, curl the toes under, pick up the knees and hover, hold that hover for a moment. And then from here, we're going to take it into downward facing dog. So lift your hips up nice and high, and then start to pedal out the legs, bending one knee and pressing into the opposite heel. Wonderful. And then let your pedaling come to stillness. Pause for a moment, make sure your dog feels nice and stable. And then see if you can just kind of pick your right leg up into a soft position and then give your right leg a really good shake. Awesome. And then set that foot down, reset your dog as needed, and then pick up your left leg in a soft position and give it a good solid shake. Nice. And then set that foot down, both feet on the ground. Press into your heels, heart melts toward your thighs. Take one big breath here. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, gaze forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a little folded ragdoll at the top of your mat. Take a second to rearrange, make some space for your belly, make some space for your chest, make sure your feet feel solid on the ground. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to lift up just a little bit. So we're going to still stay in that folded dangle position, but just enough that your arms are free to move away from the ground. And then we're going to start to bring a nice gentle shake in the arms. So just let them hang nice and heavy, and then start to give them a good gentle shake. Awesome. Take one more shake of the arms and then bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, roll your shoulders around, down and back. And then as you come up to standing, just give yourself a second, get yourself situated at the top of your mat, and then find your mountain pose. Feet about hip width distance apart, toes and knees pointing fairly forward, feet firmly anchored on the ground. And then if you can, lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can, maybe even look down at your feet for a moment. Notice that movement of skin as you lift your toes and spread your toes, and then keep that wide spread of the toes, reset your toes down onto the ground. Spread your toes as wide as you can, even on the ground. So it might look a little weird, a little funky, but that nice big spread of the toes, just to really feel that nice firm foundation down at the ground. And then once you feel like you found it, lift up through the crown of your head, bring a little energy down into your fingertips, gaze forward, take a nice big breath. Wonderful. Bring your hands to your ribs, and we're going to come back to that glide. So now without your butt on the ground, keeping that solid foundation, can you keep your hips fairly stable and glide your ribs from side to side? Notice that movement of skin, connective tissue, and muscle there. One more glide side to side with the hands on the ribs, and then bring your hands into your I Dream of Jeannie arms. Glide your ribs over to the right, rotate, lean back like you're hugging your shoulder towards your hip. Bring it back up, unwind, come back to center, glide over to the left, rotate slightly, lean back, shoulder hugs towards that hip. Bring it back up, unwind, come back to center, let your hands come down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. We're going to press the palms together, elbows nice and wide. Shift your weight over to your left foot. We're going to pick the right heel up and then externally rotate the knee. Set up for your tree pose, but just leave the toe on the ground for a second. See if you can pull the abdominal muscles in, ribs pull in towards each other, reach up through the crown of your head, press into your palms, and then slide that foot up to your calf. Take one good breath. And then when you're ready, release that right foot down to the ground, shift your weight over to your right foot, pick your left heel up, keep the big toe on the ground, externally rotate the knee, pull in at your center. And then once you feel like you've got that firmness in your center, slide the foot up to the calf, press your palms together, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release that foot down to the ground. Come back to your feet, lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can, and then reset those toes as wide as you can down onto the ground. But now push into the big toe, pull the big toe back toward your heel so you get that nice lift through the sole of your foot. And then once you've found that lift that energy all the way up through the crown of your head. Awesome. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold, knees bent or straight, totally up to you. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step the right leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel down, turn the toes out. Right hand is going to pick you up. Beautiful. From here, we're going to take it into triangle pose. So we're going to straighten the front leg, pop the back hip out, reach long, and then see if you can just stop at the thigh for a moment. So bring your hand to the top of your thigh, and then take your top hand, find your ribs, draw those ribs forward. And then once you've got that, reach your hand up to the sky. And now we're going to lift that hand that's on that thigh away from the thigh, just so we can see and feel that we've got that strength in the side body. And now we're going to lift and lengthen just a little bit further and see if you can let your hand find your shin. So go past the knee joint, find the shin, keep those bottom ribs pulling forward. Once you've got that nice and strong, turn your head, look up to the sky, take one good breath. Beautiful, strong legs, strong side body. Lift your hand away from the shin. Can you hold that position and then lift up with control? Drop the back hand, reach the front hand up, reverse your triangle, take one good breath. Beautiful, and then we're gonna cartwheel it down to the ground. So bend that front knee, spin your hands around and down, pivot your back heel. Beautiful, plant your palms, step back to a plank, and then right away, bring your knees down. Elbows into ribs as you lower onto your belly. 3 low cobras here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. One more time here. Inhale, lift. Exhale to lower down. And then we're going to push our way back to a child's pose. So push your way all the way back. Big toes together, knees together. Slide your hands back. Touch the soles of your feet. Notice that connection. Notice the warmth or coolness of your hands, the warmth or coolness of your feet. Take one more breath. Release your hands from the soles of your feet. Come up to a tabletop position. Curl your toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, look forward. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in. Roll up to a standing position. Roll your shoulders around, down and back. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, warrior two to the other side. Drop the back heel down, turn the toes out. Left hand spins you up. Take a second to just make sure your feet feel solid on the ground, and then we move right into our triangle. Straighten that front leg, reach out through the ribs, and then let your hand find the top of the thigh. Top hand is going to reach down and find those bottom ribs. Pull the ribs forward. Keep those ribs forward. Reach your left hand up to the sky. And then if you can, lift your hand away from the thigh. Maintain that strong position. Reach past that knee joint. Find your shin. Bottom ribs are still pulling forward. Turn your head, look up to the sky, take a nice big breath. Beautiful, strong legs, strong side body. Can you lift your hand away from the thigh? Lift up with control. Left hand touches down, right hand reaches up. Reverse your triangle, look to the sky. Nice, and then spin it down to the ground. Bend the front knee, circle your hands around, pivot your back heel. Beautiful, plant your palms, step back to plank, and then right away, bring the knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, hug elbows into ribs, lower with control. This time we're gonna bend both knees and rock the heels side to side. One more rock of the heels side to side. And then keep the right knee bent. Left leg is going to touch down to the ground. Reach your right hand back. Can you catch hold of the foot? Hug your heel in towards your butt. And then once you've got that handhold, rotate heart forward, look forward, squeezing in just as nice as feels good to you. So you get that little stretch at the top of the knee and the quadricep muscles. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, with control, gently release that foot down to the ground and switch to the other side. Bend your left knee, reach back, catch hold of the foot if you can, and then rotate heart forward, look forward, hug the heel in just as tight as feels nice. Beautiful. When you're ready, release that foot with control. Push your way up to a tabletop position, all the way back to child's pose. Big toes together, knees together, butt comes back to the heels. And then if you can, slide your hands back, touch the soles of the feet. Take a moment to notice. Notice the skin of your hands. Notice the skin of your feet. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release your hands from the soles of your feet, lift up into your tabletop position, curl the toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, roll your shoulders around, down and back, come back to that I Dream of Jeannie arms across the chest. Glide your ribs over to the right, rotate slightly, hug that shoulder towards the hip, bring it back up, release to center, reset anything that you need to. And then when you're ready, glide the ribs over to the left, rotate slightly, hug the shoulder towards the hip, bring it back up, unwind, come back to center, let your hands come down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to downward facing dog. We're going to take a pigeon on both sides, and then we're going to flip ourselves around and find our way onto our back. So take your right leg up just nice and high, or as high as you like. And then we're going to bend that knee and drop it across the mat. So right knee over to the right, right foot over towards the left, and then slide that left leg back just to a cozy position that feels good to you. And then if it feels good to keep an upright position, stay up. But if it feels nice to come down to a lower position, come down to a depth that feels right to you. And then once you've got a position that feels good, take a couple of nice deep breaths. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully walk your hands back up and in, curl the back toes under, pick your back knee up, slide that right leg back to downward facing dog. Take a pedal or two of your legs, and then we're going to take that right to the other side. So left leg is going to lift up nice and high, or just as high as you like. And then when you're ready, bend that knee, drop it across your mat, get that front leg arranged first, and then slide the right leg back. And you just want to make sure that that back knee is comfortable. So you can always lift it up, reset it in a way that feels right. Stay upright if that feels like a better way to go, or come down into a lower position, whatever feels the most comfortable or beneficial. And then once you found your way there, come back to your breath. Take a couple of nice big inhales and slow exhales. Take one more breath. And then when you feel ready, walk your hands up and in if you were in that lower position. Curl your back toes under, pick your back knee up, slide that leg back to your down dog, take a pedal or two of your legs. And then from here, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, and then right away, we're gonna come down to the ground. So bend your knees, pick up your heels, lower into that little ball of yarn, and then set your butt down, curl your tailbone under, roll your way down to the ground with control. Beautiful. And then once you find your way down to the ground, just take a second, get everything situated. And then once you're there, we're going to come to a supine twist on each side and then find our way right to our Shavasana. So if you've got your props that you want, your blanket or your sweater, just make sure they're nearby so you have access to them. And then when you feel ready, pull your right knee into your chest, slide your left leg nice and long. Take the right knee over and across the body, go just as far as feels good. So you might feel a preferred preference to find a little stretch in the IT band or in the side of your glutes, or you might decide to let the hip roll with you, open up into that spinal twist and keep your shoulder grounded. Take one more breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, pull the right knee into your chest, bring the left knee into me, and we'll move right to the other side. Hold on to your left knee, let your right leg go nice and long. And then when you're ready, take that left knee over and across the body. So you might just go to a point where you feel sensation in the IT band on their glute, or you might choose to roll with the hip, go further into that spinal twist and keep your left shoulder grounded. Take one more breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, pull the left knee into your chest, bring the right knee into meet. And then if you like, just to get that little bit of vibration to finish your practice, send your feet up towards the sky. Take a second to make sure your back feels good on the ground, and then give your legs a good gentle shake. See if you can let the toes be soft, the ankles be soft, the muscles in the legs be as soft as they can be, even though they're doing a little effort to help shake the legs. And then see if you can just tune in for a moment and notice that vibration in your breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully float your feet down to the ground. And then ask yourself, where would be your best Shavasana? Would it feel good to come to constructive rest? Would it feel good to take a reclined cobbler's pose? Or would it feel good to take that more traditional shape, or maybe roll to one side or flip over onto your belly? And then if you're using a blanket or you got your props, take a second to get yourself all tucked in. As you start to settle in and soften, if your eyes close down, maybe just tune in for a moment and come back to that awareness of that filtered light behind your eyelids. Let your jaw soften. Let your cheekbones soften. Keeping that sense of visual awareness behind the eyes, but can you also tune in down to your belly? And if you're holding any tension in your abdomen around your belly button, can you let all of that go? Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Become aware of the solid floor beneath you. And then if it feels good to do so, gently start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, maybe gently turn your head side to side. And then invite some bigger movements in. Maybe move your wrists, move your ankles, move your knees, any other bit of movement that might feel good. And then if you've got your legs in any bent knee position, maybe you walk your feet nice and long and take it into a big good morning stretch. Stretch through your fingers, stretch through your toes. Nice big reach, just taking up a whole bunch of space on your mat. Take up a whole bunch of space in your world. Take a nice big breath back into your body. And then when you feel ready, slowly start to release and find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Maybe come up to Sukhasana with your legs crossed or any other seat that feels good and lets you sit up nice and tall. Nice. And then once you found your way back up to that comfortable seat, take a moment, close your eyes down, let one hand touch down to the ground, bring one hand to your heart. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And then breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. Release that hand from the ground and place it right on top of the hand that's on your heart. Take one more breath here. And then when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Saturday.